and they're off in the Arkansas Derby. Here they go into the stretch of the Arkansas Derby, and it is Smelly Jones. Smelly Jones leads it right for the half and is pulling away. Courtland is on his way. Courtland is going to decimate this field, winning the Arkansas Derby by 9 lengths. The Fleet Alex has kicked it into gear. The Fleet Alex pulling the field away. He'll win this one by a good 8 lengths. And American Pharoah is putting on a show. American Pharoah, breathtaking and a mesmerizing performance.
Courtland Simmons with you here at the CS Racing Report with the Arkansas Derby preview pod from Hot Springs, Arkansas. 85th running of this 9-furlong pre-Kentucky Derby Classic, offering 140, 20, and 10 points for the top 4 finishers. For the number 2, as you look at the post positions, CADDO River. This is his last chance after losing a valuable opportunity in the Rebel Stakes to gain Derby points to get into the run for the Roses. In the Rebel, he was taken by surprise by the favorite, number 5 Concert Tour in the early going. He shuffled back versus being out on the front end, freely running with one of the top horses in the country, and it ended up costing him in the end. He emptied out in a race in which the distance shouldn't have been an issue, and I believe, and along with a lot of others, that it shouldn't be a major issue here. The question is going to be, how good is Concert Tour relative to his running style and strategy? I think they're going to both kind of semi-play a cat and mouse. I think Joel Rosario's content to let CADDO River do the running. He's going to be right there, and then will this set up for other horses in this short 6-horse field? A field which, of course, lost Big Lake, who was an encouraging third, son of American Pharoah, in that Rebel for trainer Steve Asmussen, who still has a charge in here with the number 1 Superstock. He's 1 for 7 in his career, but I thought his Rebel was pretty good. Some people thought he lost interest in the stretch. But meantime, back to CADDO River. He's got to run freely. I expect him to run much better this time, and it wouldn't surprise me if he landed in the winner's circle for trainer Brad Cox, who also trains the Derby favorite, the early Derby favorite, a Central Quality 2-year-old champion of 2020. And I expect, his performance to be, as aforementioned, a little bit better. One of the horses I'm really interested in is HOZIER. He's a horse who's nicely bred. He was blown out by Concert Tour in his debut. Sprinting is probably not his forte. Went on the stretch out. I was impressed by his performance, and now looking at the figures that he got a 102 U.S. time form in that race, improved upon it when finishing second to his stablemate in the Rebel at that same 8.5 furlong, 1.16 distance, a 106. His equibase is pretty good as well, and he looks to be a horse that doesn't seem to be wrung out to dry physically and mentally from the pre-Triple Crown Trail. He's lightly raced and seems to have the talent to be able to step up in this race. Some even believe he possibly could spring an upset if the other 2 horses sort of duel each other into defeat. I doubt that that's likely to happen, but I certainly wouldn't discount it in terms of your wagering, which we're going to basically use that as a segue to go into the picks. And when looking at the picks, I've always suggested one could use that Randy Moss method of who's run the fastest in the past. Usually here lately it's been on the top end in terms of the third, second, and first choices in multiple wagers, my trifecta of superfectas. This time it works a little bit differently. My third pick in terms of numbers would be the 2, CADDO River winning over the 5, Concert Tour the number 3, HOZIER finishing third, and then number 1, Superstock. 2, 5, 3, 1. That could easily be flipped to be 2, 3, 5, 1 with HOZIER finishing second and Concert Tour third with the number 1 Superstock in fourth. But another horse you could play. His numbers don't really lend itself to believe it could happen. The numbers don't seem to be there. Forget her number, the winner of the American Pharoah in 2020. You could go 2, 3, 5, 1, 4. Again, his top equibase is not particularly good. He was well dusted in the Rebel, but it's possible that anything with the stretch out could happen at 9 furlongs. Meantime, the second group of numbers would be the 3, HOZIER pulling off the upset. Some people believe he can do this. Over his stablemate, the 3, the 5, the 1, Superstock getting third, and CADDO River finishing a disappointing fourth. 3, 5, 1, 2, or you could easily go 3, 5, 2, 1, flip those numbers, interchange, or you could go 3, the 2, CADDO River, the 5, Concert Tour, and once again using Superstock. I think he'll run a solid race. That top 4 Finishing fourth might not get him into the Derby. I think he's a decent horse, though, for Steve Asmussen, who lost. Big Lake, a son of American Pharoah, who was third in the prep to the Arkansas Derby, the Rebel Stakes. So he's out indefinitely. Meantime, back to the final pick. I think that it's pretty clear that I think Concert Tour's hard to bet against him in this race, even though I think CADDO River, it wouldn't surprise me if he won. And it wouldn't be a shock compared to the Wood Memorial if HOZIER won, although some people believe he's a little bit on the lower end of the Baffert horses and the 3-year-olds overall. I think he's improving. We're going to certainly find out. So therefore, with the final picks, I've got the 5, the 2, 5 and 2, the 3 and the 4. Maybe Getter Number finishes fourth in here, or the 5, 2, 3, or the 1, once again using Superstock. And then, of course, again using Concert Tour. The 5, the 3, in a repeat of the Rebel, the Baffert 1, 2 Exacta, 5, 3, the 2 CADDO River, and then the number 1 Superstock finishing fourth, or again, once again, Getter Number. That's sort of logically where I think the numbers are going to go. Again, we're going to certainly recap the Arkansas Derby and tie it into projecting what could be happening in the Kentucky Derby pre-post position right here at the CS Racing Report.
Here they go